Indeed, the development of renewables is one of the key pillars of our new future zero-emission energy system that we want to build over the next 2 decades in Poland. This is a central part in the energy policy that the government adopted earlier this year. And offshore wind energy has a key role to play in that transformation. We aim at reaching about 5.9 gigawatts of installed capacity by 2030, and even as much as 11 gigawatts in 2040. Obviously, this will have to go hand in hand with an expansion of the grid, which will be critical for the implementation of these projects. Earlier this year, we adopted the law on promoting electricity generation in offshore wind farms, and it provides inter alia for a 2-phase support system. In the first phase of the system, which will end on the 30th of June this year, for offshore wind farm with a total capacity of 5.9 gigawatts. That's the most advanced projects that are existing today in Poland, and they will be granted by an administrative decision, while in the subsequent years for projects yet to be developed, we will organize competitive auctions, the first of which is planned for 2025 and the next one for 2027. We have already prepared the regulations resulting from this act on promoting electricity generation from offshore wind farms. And the most urgent of these is the act related to the technical requirements for elements of these investments, like the power stations located at sea. And these technical requirements have been as well published. On the 20th of May, the European Commission has approved the Polish scheme to support offshore wind energy, and this will help reach our renewable energy target in Poland by 2030 and help the transformation of our energy mix. The aid in practice will be granted in the form of a 2-way contract for difference with a premium during 25 years, but only up to 100,000 full load hours per megawatt of installed capacity. As part of our ambition to achieve a significant share of our energy from renewables, and in particular from offshore wind, we are also working on developing an offshore wind industry in Poland. And to that extent, we have been working on an offshore wind sector deal, which looks at many different areas like staff development, innovation, industry development, or logistics. And we aim at creating the appropriate setting for this industry to thrive in Poland, thanks also to the significant investments that will be conducted in the coming years. We also hope that the EU strategy for offshore renewables will be a guide for member states in the offshore field, taking into account the current realities. And we clearly see that offshore wind is one of the technologies that will be critical to achieve the goals that we have set in the EU, and in particular to reach climate neutrality. Setting ambitious but realistic goals in our own strategy is also a key to a strong economic recovery and to building energy security. In order to unlock the full potential of offshore wind, we have been also keen to reinforce cooperation with our partners in the Baltic Sea. And this is why we have proposed to sign Baltic Declaration that was signed in Szczecin by governments from the regions, including from Poland, but also from our other neighbor countries like Denmark and Germany and Sweden, all the Baltic countries. And we see that as a cornerstone for the transformation of our energy system and reinforced cooperation in the region. We are, in a way, there joining the mainstream with regard to the speedy growth of offshore installed capacity in Europe. And we are also starting a period of very close cooperation with our partners in spatial planning for maritime areas, in grid development, in planning for capacity and support mechanisms. And all these components will be of key importance for the development of a well-functioning internal energy market and cross-border infrastructure. We believe that by making use of the potential of offshore wind in the Baltic Sea, we can build a new sector of the economy around this emerging industry and to specialize in manufacturing of selected components needed for the development of offshore wind farms. And we see that just as it has happened in other sectors, such as transport, where Poland is leading, Poland will soon be one of the leaders also in this industry and contribute to the international supply chain for the offshore industry.